Elliot, do you want to kick us off?
Yep. Ça va? Ma première question, c'est Seattle t'a nommé entre guillemets candidate pour le titre de 6e joueuse de l'année. Est-ce que c'est un rôle dans lequel tu te sens à l'aise?
Je dirais pas que c'est un rôle, je pense que c'est venu tout seul. J'avais pas vraiment de rôle en arrivant dans l'équipe, c'était vraiment le premier objectif, c'est de grandir, d'apprendre, de voilà, trouver mes repères sur le terrain, m'apprivoiser à cette nouvelle ligue. Et surtout la deuxième phase de retour de All-Star, bah, ça s'est vraiment bien passé. J'ai eu beaucoup plus de minutes et j'ai vraiment performé. Donc c'est un peu venu naturellement par rapport aux résultats que j'avais niveau stats. Ça collait parfaitement à être candidate pour le trophée. Donc c'est vraiment venu naturellement et je peux dire que je m'y sens bien forcément parce que ça veut dire que j'ai plus de minutes, donc que je suis plus performante et que ça aide l'équipe. Donc oui, forcément, c'est quelque chose qui me plaît.
All right, Percy, we'll go to you.
Awesome. This question for either player. Hey guys, just obviously this is the 39th game of the season. What you guys have played like 6 games in 12 days. This is your 4th game on the road. So just to not really make excuses or like anything like that, but how much did energy, or I guess a lack of energy, play in tonight's game, particularly in that first half?
I mean, I think everyone is locked in, when it comes to being physically ready for the games. There's no excuse for what happened today other than not matching the energy of the other team. As far as I know, everybody was ready to go. But we have to get to a space where we can match or exceed our opponent's energy.
All right, Andrew, you're up.
Thanks. Dominique, what was coach's message to you all in there after you had the 3-game winning streak? But this tonight, what did she emphasize to you all to just get through this and then play against the Lynx in a few days' time?
Those past few days, it was just about being intentional in whatever we wanted to do on the court. We knew that we needed to have a good push. We had bad losses before, and so we needed to be better on the court, to have a better offense and a better defense, and that's what we did for the last game. As Nneka said today, we have no excuses for today, and we just want to let that behind us and keep going on what we did before that, and we're gonna stay on the pocket.
All right, Kasim, you're up.
Hey guys, well, it's the hardest play to defend in basketball, but how would you rate your pick and roll defense tonight? And also, it seemed like they kind of beat you guys off backdoor cuts a lot. What happened there?
I mean, I feel like, Kelsey Mitchell was definitely the head of the snake that we were trying to figure out how to defend, rerouting her so that she didn't have multiple ways to go. But we didn't do a great job of that because she had some back doors and our help side wasn't necessarily there. And I think, once they kind of recognized how we were guarding on-ball screens, I don't think that we ramped up the aggression the way we could have or adjusted the way we could have as players on the court, not necessarily in the schemes. To be able to make it difficult on ball.
All right, up next, Christian.
Yes, my question is for Nneka. You guys are out rebounded 42-21. That's one of the largest discrepancies of this so far this season. Just kind of wondering how much does the team switch heavy kind of aggressive attack style defense play into teams getting angles on you guys and kind of having shots at the rim?
Can you repeat that question?
Yes, I was just basically saying like how much does the team's switch heavy aggressive system on defense kind of lend to teams getting angles to get to the rim?
So are you asking about rebounds or are you asking about, I don't understand what you're asking about.
Yes, like just in general, like how do they both kind of affect the team getting an advantage on you guys?
You're saying how do we switch to create those situations?
Yes, like so what I've seen is over the last stretch of games, really in the second half of the season, teams are being against the rim kind of at will. And I think sometimes the defensive identity plays into that.
Yeah, well, we're not like a switching team. It's more so just being able to be at the point of attack and then switches become emergencies. As far as the last few games, I thought that we were doing pretty good at it, but today was not the showing of what we typically do at the point of attack. We needed to be a little bit more aggressive and kind of choking the ball off at the point of attack and then being in help side. And so that leads to a lot of mismatches on the backside, pending, what kind of matchup or what kind of schemes that we have, especially on a player like Kelsey Mitchell.
Right, Elliot, go ahead.
Yeah. Nneka, just wondering, like, how do you do Dominique's progression throughout the years? And what are the advices that you gave to her, like, to progress?
I mean, I was just telling her in the hallway, that she needs to just keep playing strong. There's no other way but up for her, and every single game is an improvement. She's a smart player. There's no quarreling that. And I think that each game there's a feel that becomes a little bit more of a muscle memory for her. She demands a lot of attention and she's getting a lot of physicality because of it. But I just keep telling her to keep playing her game and not to get bogged down by, mistakes, because mistakes happen. And I think she's done an amazing job of responding in game to individual plays to be able to just continue to make herself incredibly effective on both ends of the floor.
All right, final question. We'll go back to Percy.
Awesome. Thank you. Hey, Nneka, I was just wondering, how have you incorporated the three ball in your game this late in your career? Like you're shooting, I think you attempted like something like 150 threes sort of heading into this game, and like before this year, it was like 70 or like something, and you're still shooting at a high clip. Was that intentional? Was that something that like in the off season said I'm gonna work on this in my game, or is that just something that just happened?
I think it's kind of a combination of both a little bit, and also the empowerment and encouragement from my coaches and my teammates. Every year I don't waste any off season. And so I went into this off season, firstly, wanting to be kind of leaner, but still strong. So that was something that I worked on. And then I wanted to be in the gym. And I usually start I start entering the gym after the season around Thanksgiving. And it was just imperative for me to not just shoot comfortably in general, but I wanted to be more of a scorer rather than a shooter. And that was something that I worked on a lot. And when I say worked on, it was really just the discipline of coming in every day. In the meat of my off season, or I guess like in the busiest time of my off season, I am on the court about 4 to 5 times a week, and I'm making at least 300 to 600 shots each one of those days. And so I've kind of figured out the best formula that works for me in the off season. And I also really love health is really the biggest thing for that too, like being able to stay healthy. And I love how I feel now that I've mastered my off seasons.
Thanks, Nneka. Thanks, Dom.
Thanks.
All right, Elliot, you want to start?
Yep, thanks. So, French media, Gabby, you became the third player in the WNBA history to record at least 90 steals in a single season. How do you evaluate her impact on the defensive end on the floor?
Yeah, Gabby's, impact is tremendous because of, her basketball acumen, her physicality, her athleticism. She's getting a lot of deflections and steals because she has great timing, especially, off ball, and understands like time rhythm in those situations. And so we've been pretty sharp in that area defensively and has done so all year for us. A lot of times guarding other teams' best perimeter players, or the player that's most potent on or off the ball. So her impact has been tremendous. And obviously with the stats that she's showing this year, you see what she can do on the floor. Yeah.
All right, Percy, go ahead.
Awesome. Hey, Coach, I don't know if you'll see Indiana in the playoffs or like anything like that, but what makes Aaliyah Boston is like a tough matchup for you guys, and how come she was so effective tonight?
She's very physical. She imposes her will in the paint. She rebounds really well, and she's just a load down there because of her size and where she catches the ball. You try to do your work early on her, but she finds a way to get to her spots, and a lot of times it's really deep in the paint.
Qasim, go ahead.
Hey coach. So you guys kind of had trouble with backdoor cuts today. Pick and roll defense was kind of tough. Nneka said it was kind of due to, Kelsey Mitchell drawing people in. What did you kind of see on that part of your defense?
Oh yeah, I mean, it was part of our defensive scout today, not just Mitchell, but whole Sam's got one. Um, they play with pace, they play with force, they play with physicality, and a lot of times, because they're in clear, they're in the corner, and the next action is a clear corner or ball screen or a DHO, you're trying to prepare to be physical and roar over those actions. But because of, their spacing, they're able to reject and go backdoor. Couple of things that weren't happening was our pressure on the basketball, and then our overplaying kind of weren't disciplining those particular actions where we're not supposed to full commit to denying a lot of our things, not all the time, but today, it was not only that strong side action, but then they spread us out. So there was no low man, there was no help. The help was late when it was there. So I just think that who they have on the floor and their actions allow you to kind of spread out and not take care of those back cuts.
All right, Andrew, you're up.
Coach, first, in terms of Gabby Williams with the collision she had with Lexi Holt, is she physically okay in terms of how she just wasn't herself in this contest? And are you more upset with your team over the lack of execution or just the energy level for this performance tonight?
Yeah, Gabby said she was okay, but clearly, that was a very physical hit, but she's doing okay. And yeah, the energy level wasn't where we needed to be. It started with the jump ball, and then timely turnovers, and we didn't, match or exceed the energy level that we needed to play against a team at home. So yeah, that is a little bit deflating, understanding where we are in the season.
You had a few minutes with with Izzy and Dominique on the floor together.
Mhm.
What do you take of that combination?
Yeah, I think, we've been doing that for the past few games, 5 or 7 games. Izzy is a rim protector, and defensively with her on the floor, we're better when we do. We're not sharp on some assignments. She cleans up a lot with blocks and just her presence. And then Dom has given us a lot of offensive lift. So to me, they complement one another. Dom put a lot of pressure on the rim in her drags and in her ball screen actions. So to me, it gives us an offensive and defense complementary piece.
All right, Percy.
Hey, Coach, I'm just trying to do something on Nneka for a bit later. She said that you sort of empowered her to become this 3-point shooter. Just what things did you see in her game? Maybe if coming from LA or last year that sort of led you to believe that she could become this 3-point shooter. Like she's attempting over 173s, which was not part of her game sort of early in her career. So what types of things did you see that sort of led you to believe that she could become this type of a player?
The coaching against her and even playing against her, Nneka brought something different to her game every single season. So started off, with her athleticism, and then she developed, her 15-footer, and then the ball handling came, and then the 3-point shot came, and it wasn't a lot of attempts, but it was just the efficiency that she took them with and played with. And just knowing that every year she's just very disciplined in her habits and whatever it is that she's going to work on, that's what you see efficiently and consistently throughout that season. Just felt like, the pieces that we have and the spacing that we have allows her to have a lot of freedom in that area. She doesn't make wrong basketball plays. She doesn't take bad shots. So from corner threes to slot threes, top of the paint, top of the key threes, just moving her around in places because, she's capable. She works on it. The defenses have to honor it. Now there's some movement threes, not just catch and shoots. Today, her first three was off the dribble. So these are the things that she constantly works on. You see a player who's elite like that, you want to challenge them to continue to be great. And I think that the 3-point shooting was, the last thing that she needed to not needed. Last thing, adding, she's such a potent player and such a neat player, but to be a 3-level scorer is very difficult to guard.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks.